Okay. Recording. Hi, this is Rizzo Riker. And figured let's start on this my kind of custom uh talk about like the Rexouiums and their features. Uh this is my custom version just to show like some credits inside here. I got Kurai Kitsune did the texture for me. Oh, which by the way, my face shows up here. Sorry if this video is going to be any like bit longer, and I kind of want to just do like a one take thing, and now my camera's in. So I'm just trying to do this. Not take so long to just record, and just to explain all the fun things I try to put in, like not just like the gesture things, which by default there's a left and right, so I could just like wink on this eye and then wink on that eye if anyone's been playing with the gestures, obviously. Which also the new way on like how to blep, you gotta hold down right grip. This is for index, by the way. I'm not too sure what the other controllers need to do, but for index, you just grip, and then you pull your trigger down, and then you can, like, by value, control how much tongue that comes out. And the left grip closes your eyes. So this is a nice texture Kurai made for me, and I set myself up to look more of like a raccoon here. But I'm going to actually pop into the oh, that's interesting. It's showing up on camera. Character spinning around. I'm going to go to the one of the public ones to easily show what's just so you know, like the very same things that they have. Which, by the way, having the viewpoint up to my eyes makes me have to play space down a little bit just to get my floor on the ground. Oh, and with VRChat's new setup on full body, by the way, let me angle that down a little bit more. It to get it to do like how I have it is with legacy or legacy full body tracking to set up. You gotta do it in the launch code. Like maybe I'll throw that code in descriptions, but like in the properties of Steam, you right click VRChat, and then there's like launch launch code or something. Pre-launch. It's basically a code then you gotta paste into a little text box that's to do with launch. and then when you then calibrate, you just do this T pose. You can move around and look down and all that, and not have to like stare at a mirror on the new way that they do it, where it just kind of slides your character with your head. Like that just seems like I could kind of guess what they were trying to go for, to like the character size, like to your height and stuff. And that's why it's like rooted to your head. Like I noticed if you like duck down, like the character would shrink and stuff, trying to line all the stuff up to you. But it's just more difficult to snap into. So that's my take on that. Now, what I was wanting to get to, that's why I'm set up, which, by the way, is in this very nice hotel world. I could probably try to do the descriptions or find credits of it. I just hit a button, so you should be seeing my eyes now, yeah. That's what I wanted to do in here, because like I hit a button and then it's either through my eyes or through that camera over there. But so what was that? So yeah, what I want to just show is the expression menu that this thing has in it. There is like, so there's several submenus, head, body, and gesture options. And obviously head, you get like all the controls through your head. So there's ears. And each of these things you can like I could position my ears, turn it on, like close out it, and then my ears are always there, which it's where I'm going to get to the gesture option, because once I do a gesture, it overrides it. But I made it so you can toggle it so the gestures don't control the ears. Then of course the tongue, I can slide it to the side like without sticking my tongue out, but it works best like you have this on your left hand, hold your tongue out, and then you can control it, do all the funny. And as soon as you do grip, by the way, it activates like the dynamics. So even not sticking it out, your tongue will wobble around. But that is so, cause like once, gotta close that so I can walk. Isn't there? Oh, you can't size this thing. Okay. Like once, cause yeah, once you activate it, it like spazzes out a lot of times. I noticed that's what it does with dynamics. Wonder if you can see that mirror when I look at it. Yeah, you do. Well, it's not really a mirror, it's just showing what the camera is. There is mirrors around this world, by the way. But you know what? Let me just go through the gestures too. Like you have like open hand, surprise, for advanced, like once again, like left and right's different. I did do a simple one that if anyone remembers the old 2.0 version, I made the same gestures with, which I gotta get to. Sorry if I'm like just all over the place. I didn't guess I'm being a little lazy on like trying to like write out like a whole scripted thing to go through on this, but yeah. So right grip does your tongue, left does blink, open hands both is on both hands for this. Point's also the same. It's both squint, but handgun is wink right, wink left. Thumbs up is just grin on the right. Left thumbs up is open mouth kind of smile. Like, eh. Rock and roll is just close eyes on the right hand. Then you got sad for victory. But on the left, victory is like snarly mad. And then rock and roll is like growl. So that's with just the default gestures. Now with the head also, you have, if you do both of the hands like this, these two controls work pretty nicely together. So you can like do like just very facial stuff with yourself. So left and right kind of pulls the mouth back and then narrows it. Kind of pull it up a little bit. Like I used to have it so it like goes completely grin, but I actually animated it now. Like the point of like actual like smile grin is in the corner here, and then like all the way up is just it just smiles. And then on the left up is where you actually puff your cheeks. So I actually, with the same just two directional thing, I actually added like a little more control of your mouth. And the Roomba's going to pick me up and take me away, I guess. And of course, down is just opening the mouth. If you just go and go like, ah. Like you like bite on something and then it'll look like you're chewing it. And then eyes left is angry, sad is right. Down is slightly down is where you can like close your eyes. I try to make it kind of like work smoothly. But like I keyed it so somewhere like kind of in the mid between there, you actually just close your eyelids completely. Of course, like if you want easy control with your eyes, actually, it's easier to do it with your left hand doing this, doing your grip. But otherwise, you got just closing the eyes, but then pulling it further down, you push your eyebrows down. Try to make it so it doesn't look like it was doing some weird bumpiness when I didn't have it move down at all to the middle. Trying to not ramble on all my things, but I want to cover everything. That I'm also like, after I cover all this stuff like in here, then I'm gonna show things in Unity on what I'm guessing people would want to like change and edit on it with all the like 3.0 changes or so. Then of course you have the eye pupils. Could go slit, left, right. Right just makes it so it goes to rounded. Down is like shrinks it, and then up is just big eyes. Or just enlarges the pupils. Middle, it kind of made like, now that like I keyed, which if anyone is trying to do the blend shape that like does the slit eyes, by the way, this is keying it, so it's why if you make that change, it doesn't stay on it, because you have to like just do this to like, because you could like just make yourself really slitted eyes if you wanted in here. That's what this control's for. But, and of course, when you do like any setups, like if I put my ears down, and if you want to go back to like default, you just hit like reset avatar, and then it like kind of does a quick reload of your avatar basically. Then there's the body. This is like another control I found that I'm not sure how many others use it, but like I find that I haven't been caring to use it, but like it's because like the expressions also control it, just like with the ears. But you can like control how much spread you want your ears or your feathers of the avatar to be. Then of course the fun toe controls. And then tail control. You can easily just wag your tail here. By the way, why it looks kind of linear movement, those feathers. Oh, I see the Roomba coming. On how they're just kind of like static is because for the public ones, don't pick me up. So could like just go back to this view. But yeah, these feathers don't have dynamics on the public ones. Like I took out a bunch of them to keep down to the limit bone dynamics, which I could probably briefly in here, which I'll just show you in this view. when you go to safety performance, then you go to dynamic bones, you want to, why does it do that? I think that's a bug a VRChat has, apparently. The menu flies away from you. But in here, there's dynamic bone limit. I always have it off because like I don't have a problem with my system with more than dynamics for that and stuff. But if dynamics do like kind of slow your system down, you have that on, and these guys will still show dynamics with that turned on because they're within that limit. So that's how you get on VRChat by default. That setting is checked on. So by default, it'd be like that, and anyone that's above those dynamic limits, you won't see their dynamics. So let me briefly check it. Yeah, I am recording. Okay. I do have like they did set up a new like AFK thing. So I could do that, and then you see me going there. It'd be easier to see it like this. So when I bring up my desktop view, you go into that little hover motion. That's what that is. Did I? Oh, I didn't switch it. I wanted to show you more menu things. Okay. So those are the controls. And now it seems like I feel like I wonder if this like is like too overwhelming on anyone with these toggles. But how I did it is, so the toggles are all into one integer. So it changes one little number, and depending on that number, it's what toggles certain things on and off. So with this, I have on left side ears off and ears on. So it's ears off, feathers on, or feathers off, feathers on, feathers off. And so it like kind of splits it to that. So you decide if you want like, so if I want my feathers just on and then ears off, I go into there. Now it's pretty much just the simple and advanced is just two different gesture combinations I've set in. I called one advanced and then one simple because the simple one, both hands do the same thing. They're just like the SDK 2.0, how the avatars used to have been set up with. The advanced one allows you to do different gestures on either left and right. So if you go to like simple, now my rock and roll is back to doing blep. And if you notice, my ears are not, my feathers are moving, but my ears are not doing anything. So now I can go back to my head, and if I want to, probably with this hand control with my ears, and then this do my gestures or something. So I could just do full control with my ears and nothing overrides it. That's the whole point. I have those toggle things so you can do stuff like that. And switch back to a different gesture set if you want to. And I'll get in like Unity to show you how if you want to like change your options of those. It'd probably be more a little more like it. You'd have to figure to know how to do the configure the, what is that? I forget the word now. I am so blank on that word. Whatever the attachment to tell the Unity that when it's this number, it goes to that. I forget what that word, what it was called there. But to do that, you'd have to learn how to work with Unity state machines. see if I could probably try to explain that a little bit. But for now, like you have two options of setting up like your own gestures if you want to with my state machine setup that I have. Now, which also, so the other thing is, so let me do like just like all of them off. There's also with grips on or with them off. Now I do that is, so I do like the simple with off. Let's do advance on because it was like the tongue. So now what it does is probably is not necessary when you have index, but I know like with Vive, every time you held something, you were forced to do your grip gesture. So now with that off, you won't be blepping or like, let me have it on. Like, so with the simple one, grip made you do like a little angry looking face. Now have it off, it doesn't do anything. So you can hold something and then you're not like stuck in this weird angry expression. Now, the last option with these is you can just turn them off, and now I don't do any gestures on my face. My fingers, even with like Vive, your fingers will still do the gestures. I figured just to leave that on. This is like a separate option on instead of how this game has gesture off. Now, once again, index, it just doesn't matter because I'm overriding with my own finger controls. But I've seen the troubles with the Vive control. You turn gesture off and you're like doing a gesture as you do that. So it's like I see it's a problem. So it is nice if you can hold that gesture and then turn it off if you want that gesture always on. That's what's useful with that. But with this, if I'm holding a gesture and then turn it off, it actually turns off my gesture. And so this basically makes it so you just turn off your gestures to neutral, just like back to neutral look, no matter what button you're pressing as you turn it off. It basically puts the integer to 0 and it just makes it so it's all off. That's how I have that work. So that's like a full explanation of this avatar. And go back to this. So see me in the nicer camera view. And before I hop on out of this, figured to just show you the other you guys probably a little more taller. My other the other one that Karai did for me, like pretty much sure like after he made the raccoon, I wanted him to actually like I wanted him to do like a cheetah one, and so in a way like I pretty much had him like do like 2 texture work jobs for me. But here's the other cute kind of look that I like wearing it. Like a skinny, get the tail all skinny and it looks very cat-like and pretty much just like a cheetah. If you look at like actual cheetahs, they have a lot more flatter nose. So it's not like perfectly like a cat-like, but I'm kind of impressed on like how easily with all the stuff that's on public, or that you can buy this avatar in Gumroad, you can like easily do these like same edits. Aside from the texture, I'm not giving this texture out to anyone. that I can like trust with or whatnot. But yeah, you can like change some of the blend shapes with the tail and the mouth and like turn it into like just about looking like a cat. So but yeah, then obviously I got ones that are a little more, where is it? I think this one's Ian is a little taller too. This one has like some head feathers. I was looking for the one that, yeah, full feathers. Because these feathers are nicely done too, like the texture on them. So yeah. And of course, like one of my own like little edits that I probably find a little cute, but by default is not one of the setups that everyone quite gets or would have on their expression menu. But I have a little belly stuffing control. Just oops, accidentally. This is Max, so kind of ends up looking like a donut, but you just do a little bit, and it looks like you're just nice and stuffed. Had like a big meal here. Makes sense if I like look like I'm drinking down a big bottle or something, or some apples here, and it's like, and just keep. Where'd it go? That one little apple just instantly filled me up a lot. Oh, I did that. Oh, it drops down. I see. Okay. For that, just show that little silliness. Just know that I do have like an optional thing of doing that control. I could probably show like how to, like you want to change like the expression, which, so yeah, I'm going to pause the video. Let me actually pop back into this guy. Which that's the thing, like I would have like put all the controls on if I was able to, but that's another reason why like on this menu thing there is no emotes, if you notice. So like in desktop you can't do like a simple wave or anything, because I took up all the parameters trying to fit all the other stuff I wanted for manually puppeting the character and stuff. So you only have 16 parameter values. I really would like to know if you can get more than that, but otherwise you're just restricted. It feels like I'm just restricted to 16 because that seems to be the amount that they allow. So because yeah, if I go to I have to go way back, and let me just fly into like an old 2D, or I don't know. When I think of the 2 now, I'm thinking of like 2D. This guy's shorter, but I just wanted to pop in this guy. Once you go to expressions and you have like all these things, so like it's the old like gesture expression things that 2.0 Avatar 2.0 used to have. you can get that menu in there if you use another parameter slot. Like I'd have to take out one more thing, which is really hard for me to decide on what I want to take out. Like the only other thing is maybe the feather control thing. But in replace of that, on like some like a lot of my guys, I put it on like my little Philip bellyful thing. So, but aside from that, because it also uses another integer thing that you just when it hits that when it does like a number thing, it should like play that. As far as like, you know, I haven't actually tried to reset up that emote menu thing. Because, yeah, when you open it up in here, then it just says, oh, this is in a different place. And it just, you open it in there. Because it used to been in emote button right here. But, let me see, I've been... Okay, so I'm going to pause video. And I'll jump into Unity here. I am now in Unity, so I guess if I didn't unpause the stuff, then I'll just edit that out. But so first of all, the one thing like I'll mention, just to easily find these folders, click this and go to one column layout. Because being like this, you can't just like open up these folders and see what's in them. You have to click on the folder to see what's in there. And so I see it's why so many probably has been missing what's right here in the scenes. Like the scenes right here. Plus you get the full name easily. So I don't know. That's my personal preference on just set it to one column and you get all your files easily found in here. So now, oh, sorry if my peaking there, the mic volume, but so right now I am opened into this scene, and you have 6 different rig versions here. Pretty much because like now I exported just with 6 new ones. I still kept like the original ones back here. Oh, I don't even have like the other original ones, I guess. Took even those out. The 15 different kinds that I did before. I probably need to update does that mean in here? Let me see something. Oh, are these both the same scene? Same kind of scene? They basically are. I guess maybe I'll ignore it. Like, I try to keep some old stuff, but I think I did delete out, like, the other FBXs that used to been there. Guess I completely forgot that I did that. But yeah, these are the newer ones anyway, so you have 6 different versions, and I say it in the README, but these 2 on the left here just have like a lot more bones for the whiskers. They have like full bones for all the if you want to go full on crazy with dynamics. It's kind of more set up for like working well in Neos VR. Now, the other ones is option 2 for Fox and just normal Rexouim just then has just the whiskers, or a single strand of whiskers. So it's missing less bones for the whiskers. I kept the toes, like for all of them, kept like they all have their toe bones, all because they're animated for that specific toes to do with like that control I showing you, the toe curl. And then 3 is just missing all their feathers. So with the normal one, like missing all of them on the tail and stuff, it just makes it kind of look like a possible like skinny otter tail, which you can like do a blend shape to fatten out the tail, or call it, I think, thick tail. But then this is probably the most like fox-like version if anyone wants to just look like a fox. Because the feathers kind of are like extraness that foxes wouldn't obviously have, but they're kind of neat. Have like as you saw, like I have like several of my versions with the feathers on their heads and back, and kind of adds some interest to them. But okay. What's the time of recording, by the way? Okay, 40. I guess not too... I thought it was going to be like hours or something. 40 minutes is probably a lot to watch, but I'm sorry, I'm just trying to like go through everything I could think of, and there's not easy like script plan out here, there, boom, boom. So, okay. Now, I think the big thing is how do you change your express? So, the big ones to look at is the options I have of like this effects override. This changes primarily like the blend shapes and stuff. Blend shapes cannot be, I think, animated at all in the gesture override. It only does like bone transform stuff. But this one has like all the face gesture shapes, and some of the other ones that uses like blend shapes. And then these set like the menu and buttons on it. So to find those, which by the way, the easiest thing to find where they would be is like where these would. Click on it and it just pops into that folder. And these were like the all the amount of option things. The state parameters is like the easy thing to see what they have in them, or kind of an idea. So like this is my gesture integer, like with the new default ones I made. I simply made like a quick other one for, because like these guys are actually set up with what's called with no feathers, because these had the feather controls, so in body, which you also can like connect to. So what these buttons, so in this menu, like this is the first buttons you have like that just go to sub menus, and what menu they go to is you click here, and I just call it 5. Like I kind of, I guess, got lazy on trying to like name each. So I just call them numbers of different kind of buttons that they have. So this has the feathers slider that you can put the feathers up and down. Now these guys don't have those. So it's like very pointless to have that control taking up. So I put one that's like no feathers, and then I have it claws. Now my personal one, I just simply change that to like belly full, because there's one that's called like with the belly full, and that's how I like fill out how I fatten out my belly with like kind of the same slider thing. And which I think I have the same thing, but I was lazy to. Oh, I have one there, but it's also with the feather. So yeah, it's with this one, it has the one that I made myself is I swapped out the claws to because it's probably same with this. I'm not sure if a lot would ever care to like use their claw and like because they look a little silly with their claws retracted anyway. Yeah, they just look like that. Which, by the way, if you have that animated and you try to do it in here, like I was saying with the pupils, you do that and you try to upload, it's going to just stick it back to default like that because it's already keyed with that control. But yeah, with my own personal project, I swapped this out to have my belly control. Which to easily do that, you would have to, I guess one be easily. Yeah, now I'm thinking of like if I should give that as an option. But I'll see if I could explain enough on like how if you wanted to like edit that one thing. Because for you'd each of these names, I think needs to be exactly the same name of these parameters. Like in, so I guess like the big other thing, other than okay, that's the things that you want to swap is the FX and then these two parameters. Gesture override, I think, like I found, it works primarily with that same one. So like, maybe if you're taking off you probably want to, which do like Control D creates a duplicate, and that way you don't make changes to this and then you get an update, and then that update is going to want to change that back because it's different. So in here now, so when you make a duplicate and then you could change it to whatever personal thing you want, and you probably want to actually like delete this out if you don't want your feathers being changed or so by that controller. They will get controlled still because they're animated in with the gestures. But you possibly, like in the scene, you could probably change their rotation and stuff in here, and then they all get trans. It's the same like, so. Trying to think of like a good example and stuff. So like if you didn't want like the face controls and stuff, you would like delete this out. If you wanted, let's say, yeah, like with the claws. So like, so the one that does have like the feathers, I don't have the claws at all. So you could change that blend shape on this one, by the default one, and then it would be uploaded because nothing's keying it. And in here, this is what's keying it. Is clicking on that layer. Right from entry, it goes to this little slider. This slider uses that parameter value from 0 to 1. I'm trying to not go into like a full-on tutorial of this. Others have. I could probably put link in the description of. I'm trying to not like have to like look up like so many description things that I have to link on to link to, but yeah, others have made it. I feel like I don't have to like say about every. It's a lot more it's more complex. You gotta learn even more of Unity on how to do all this new animation stuff, but this is the simplest like of what uses a blend shape. You got one little slider, a value that just goes, which let me drag this guy into this little preview window. So you see his claws down in there. So when you slide it in and out, it does that. Have one keyed animation here, which is right in here. This just has it. Yeah, so this is out. This just, right. Claws in. Okay, so I made a blend shape that the claws went in. It's fully keyed up to 100. And then I have the other one that usually I've been calling them idle. And it's just the same blend shape keyed. So claws out just has it to 0. And that's where it starts with. So claws out is this first one. It's on 0. And then you go down, go up to 1. And it blends to the other blend shape keyed. And that's how they blend two of those. The mouth one, like the 2 directional ones, are a bit more complex. You have to like fill out this whole thing with like each. You need one that's completely in the center that has like the all the keyed blend shape things or so, and then you go down to what's up, what's on the left, and what's on the right, up, down. And I actually added like 2 other things like in the corners, like what I was saying when I was in the game. So like this one does like the full smile, and then this one does like the cheeks puffed out, which you could see the guy doing in the preview. So you could like move this around to see like how it would look. And there's something to do with like putting it only up to 0.7, because I think that's the max I heard that the controls actually go to. So yeah. And so let me talk about something I figured that's definitely important to talk about with my setup is where the gestures are, like on the hands. So I'm going to delete this out. Actually, no, I'm going to... So to add one, by the way, like if I wanted to add like my belly one to this... Oh, wait, I'd want to do it like on this. Which actually the value is right there. You hit the plus. You make it a float because it would be like... A float number is like within the decimals. Integer is like what this thing is. It only can go to like 0, 1, 2, like very exact numbers. And that's like basically a switch thing that you would do. Then there's booleans and triggers, which be more explaining on like with all that stuff. It's all to do with let me see if I can where was one on condition. That's what I was trying to think of, the word condition. So it's all to like tell it like what kind of conditions on things. But yeah, you would like create like float, call it belly full, like this exact name. But this already has it on there, so. And you do that on the effects one. And you'd create then a layer, probably call it like belly. And you'd create like a little blend tree. Add 2 of these. Grab the parameter to like that. And then you put the 2 animations that just key the blend shape on it, and then one that's keyed at 0. And also, by the way, all of them, instead of 2 frames like VRChat used to had, you'd want to do, you want to, it works. What I heard actually works better is to have it on frame, just 1 frame now. probably with all the blending stuff or so, it probably works good for just one frame. So that's a quick like throw on how to. What am I doing? Thought I was undoing to where I was going to delete that, but you know what? I'm just going to delete it like this. There. So yeah, that's that, and yeah, and then in here, so there's like just some connection things and stuff. So like to add like a little control that slides a blend shape up and down is like the easiest, should be the easiest control to add on. You just have to like know like all the steps on like to add then the button, the radio button, and all this. But what I want to really talk about is, so first on like the gestures here, I'll look at my duplicated gesture one. I have several things that do left and right of like with the hand conditions, like the gesture conditions, because the first one's up here is with the ears, and it's because they're all like with controlling the joints once again. So these, and by the way, like I find you really don't need to put a mask on these things. I think if it's anything that you are actually controlling your armature, so like the finger joints, you make a mask that only controls those. So I have this mask that's just controlling the left hand. That's for the left hand. Now in the left hand is just the simple keyed animations of the hand gestures. And I actually edited these some more because like I was showing like in the game with index, it overrides this stuff. you don't see how these are actually keyed unless you like use a Vive controller. And I just have mine in a box for like, I guess like backup if I ever need to use them again. Or maybe use them if for like a game that I heard like Beat Sabers, like it's easier to use those. You can get like a mod that like turns your saber and Taylor saber or something with that, but that's a whole nother topic. So yeah, I edited these so they fit with the hands, the shaping the poses of the hands, because apparently they were too like just relaxed hand. Like I could see that they were trying to do like relaxed gestures, but if you're really trying to do a gesture of a hand, you're not trying to gonna have halfway neutral kind of hand position. Like the piece, the two fingers were like half bent down and stuff. It's like, would you really do a peace sign if you're lazily like that, if you're really wanting to do a peace sign? I don't know. So I edited them to try to make them look a little better. That I heard others and from now looking in the preview and here that yeah, I changed them. So that's what all these are doing right here. But so these once again are just the ear. They're animations of the ears, like I did like ears up one. I do like 1 and 2. 2 is like a little more extreme that I have more so of like with just the manual control of the ear. I did it like with the gestures, and I found that doing that all the time just seemed like it was too straight up. It seemed too didn't look quite right for me, of like just like a little surprise, or like, what was that? To just having them like a little, like mostly angled up, but not like Jackal kind of straight up, or Anubis kind of styled look or something like that. But it's there if you want to like replace it to that one. That's with the open hand, by the way. And that's what the feathers do that. Each of these conditions, by the way, so how I did it is each condition, they all have like the same, gesture left. Like, so this is on the left hand, gesture left equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Like it has a certain pattern, like fist is 1, open hand is 2, and it goes down to like 7. And 1 is actually no wait. Gesture 0 is basically the gesture off. That goes to like neutral hand. Which most times I don't have anything keyed, but in here it is keyed to just hand idle. But I found like you don't need to put them, you could have them as none if you want that thing to just not go to the keyed thing. So like with the ears, like they just go back to like the neutral state that they're set to. Which then means that anything else can like the manual controls and stuff. And then once again, I have another thing like here off, the gesture integer is equal to 0. And each of these have several of them, and they're all with the numbers that have it like with these ears on. It needs to also have the condition that it's this number. I created like several conditions at a time to do it. So they all have gesture left 2, but they also have 4 different of these numbers, because with my whole menu thing, these all will be for it to be on, with the ears on. I pretty much made it more over complex to do that, but I didn't want to create more buttons than I needed to toggle those on and off. I didn't want to make like 3 separate buttons to create it, to use up 3 separate parameter integers to do that. So that's on the gesture. So in the effects is where you'd want to actually... So in the effects... Oh, which I also have apparently... Where did I put that? I think I did this. So sometimes, even though these now are only controlling the bones once again, the effects... Oh, wait. I'm looking at the wrong thing. Oh, silly me. Sometimes you do want to put in the effects, like, I don't know, like, it does control the bones. Like I have the toes in here also. And in the gestures. But, because once again, this does not control any gesture, or any blend shape keys. But in effects, it keys them, and pretty much any bones that aren't connected to the armature that you have to like just mask out anyway. Oh, which this is doing like all the armature anyway, and I don't have any. So yeah, it's possible you could make a possibly a animation that like bends your armature, so like your arm. It's probably where in desktop mode you can make it so you can control your arms and with controls or so in here. But preferably, I heard you want to do that in the gesture layer, because I think it's because like the gesture layer overrides the stuff in here. Or it just simply doesn't work like with the trials that I've done. Sometimes you just do the same control, like you just like here, you just copy this, go to the gesture layer, create the same layer, like paste the same control state into the gesture, and then it probably works that way if things aren't working the way you're wanting. But so in the effects thing here, let me look at this one. This is the default one, by the way, and gesture blends is what I called it, left and right. This is your facial, like snarl, angry, left and right. So left and right for the ones that are up on top, with the ADV, these are like the advanced, supposedly advanced options. They are let me just throw that just to so the video doesn't freeze up. I'll put my little mouse character bouncing here. But yeah, this is the option I put where left and right is different. So on the right side, peace is sad, eyes are closed. On the left, peace is snarl, and then eyes are angry. But so you have the 7 different ones right here, and they both like go gesture left and right. Being 0 just goes to idle right here once again. And once again, just doesn't go to an animation. I probably don't also need the... maybe I would. Yeah. Because the condition also just for this integer 0, it makes it though, so when that's 0, it goes to this, which is nothing, and it turns it all off again. But, so yeah. So you have like the 7 up here. So this is right here is one option of gestures for left and right. And then the other option is down here, which once again, you could make these separate for left and right. So this is where if you want to change your gesture combinations and whatnot, you go to this effects, go to left and right of this, and you just swap out the animations you want of this, where this is like squinting the eyes and stuff. These are not keying the ears, and because once again, the ears and feathers are onto the gesture of left and right of this. This is probably as best as I can explain all of what's going on with my gesture buttons with my avatars. I'm sorry if it's like very complex, overwhelming complex on this, but it's just simply these are the slots that the animations are put into, which are also named with the open simple. Like you could probably call this, instead of simple, like 2. Like this is like open 1, and then this is open 2. If you want to make sense with that. But it's once again to do with down. Let me close all these folders because I'm like opening them all up here. Make it confusing to get around. Okay. So yeah, in the expressions, in submenus and all that. Oh, which, yeah, the advanced on toggle. So these are, these 4 buttons is where the last, like you get to those toggle buttons to like turn on your advance and on and off and all that. I see that my video's going over an hour. I won't even think about it. I don't even know like what editing out that I would want to do to make it like shorter video, but this is how I can like try to explain all the stuff, and I think I covered everything. Now I think of it. Oh, which the idle, by the way, I put it as a additive layer, and it's simply on the effects. I think I did it on both effects. Yeah, on controls, animate controls. This is where you find these controllers. So yeah, on effects. Yeah, I do also have it on this, which... Oh yeah, it's because of... So now with the ears twitching and the nose twitching, that's what this is actually animating, is just those bones. So it's on the gesture also, that's just constantly this thing constantly going. It's on an additive. So I think the ear controls and stuff overrides this thing. But if they're not doing anything, then it just does this. Somehow got to work like that. I think it's because like I masked it to the heads only, which I toggled on like it's transform. Oops. Let me look at this. Yeah, I think it... I don't know. I'm afraid to break it on how it's working so well. Like, took a little bit to figure out how to get it to work. But, yeah, I had to put that on both gesture for the joint movements. And then in this is just the blend shape of the breathing animation of the chest going in and out. It does also have, like, two things, actually, that's... Oh, I did left, I guess, the nose rotation stuff on this, but... But yeah, this is, oh wait, it's this control. But yeah, primarily just making you breathe back and forth. And this one, I believe... Does this one have... It also has, I guess, the nose one. Maybe the other one doesn't even need the nose then, but it doesn't exactly hurt it to have the same keyed animations on both. It just, some won't. Like, because, like, once again, the gestures just would not animate the blend shape stuff on that override thing, which is this right here. You'd think you'd put this idle stuff on additive here instead of like with this default idle. But that just overrides like so much other stuff that you don't apparently, and it's like it pretty much kept making me go into the biker pose stuff like that, and just even I think, and then when I think when I tried then like putting it as like a mask once again to not do all that, it just didn't work then, and so I think that's really just to animate your armature. That's what I think that does. I did like trial and error stuff on this, by the way, just to figure out how to get all this stuff to work. That's why it took me like a week just to get like first like updated version with the 3.0, and then still I'm like kind of messing with some things. But yeah, I'm just so I'm gonna just cut video from here now, because I think I got over to like what like I think a lot of people were asking about on things. Sorry, it's like a giant long video. It's the best way I could do like videos like this. I'm not like a professional video creator, I guess, or at least just call me, I guess, like lazy to like want to like edit them, to spend the time to make them more watchable with a reasonable time. But I wanted to just cover over what I do on these things, or what I done with these things, kind of explain what's going on, to not leave everyone in like darkness of trying to figure this out. Because just to figure out the new 3.0 stuff, I could tell is overwhelming enough to figure out how to set up this stuff. But, and then like to have the additional thing of like figuring out how I even set it up on the avatar. So yeah. Oh, I wanted to just briefly say on the submenu. So yeah, one, like you could tell from like clicking on the gesture toggle submenu on this one, ears on, ears off, ears off. So you could tell which one this is routing to then on these numbers, they go from like 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's so like the off ones are on the bottom of the menu. Because the thing goes into like a circle like this. Starts from right to left. It like starts from up here, going down, goes from right to left. It goes in a circle like this. So I made it so the buttons being on off is like on the bottom right here, like, or just in the middle between these. So that's why it's oddly like 1, 2, 3, 4. It's because I switched them later. And I already set up all the numbers to work with these options. So, but yeah, it goes 4 at a time, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6, 7, up to 16. And so I guess to work out what the conditions are doing, you have to like go back and forth looking at these 4 things. Well, with this one, on knowing which one's the ears off and feathers on and stuff. That once again toggle. So so both ears off and feathers off are right into this one, which are the top numbers. So basically, these are conditions that are just not on any of these things because they just are off. So probably don't even need a... Well, then again, like, you do need to have it so, like, it changes the number to that, just so it, like... So, yeah, if anything, you could change them to be, like, a separate... You could make those numbers to be a whole nother combination of gestures if you wanted to. You could, like, endlessly make this integer go as big as you want with as many gesture options if you want to spend time, like, saying for each one... You could like make it so it just does one additional condition. So just one of these. And then it has to be that gesture integer. And you could have like 50 different gesture combinations if you wanted to do it that way. But with the amount of animations to the gestures, I figured 2 is enough. I can't think of other big combinations to want to change the stuff to. Maybe like very few little changes, and then it's like you have to remember what each of those things do. And that would be really hard to keep track with. But that's how you do that. That's how you can create all the gesture options you want. Apparently, I tried to make it so it like routed through a little easier on like figuring out what the conditions go to. But with the gestures, it works right from any state to the animation. That's the only way I was able to get it to work. So made me have to create 4 different condition things on each of these. 2 only for like the fist ones, because once again, I have the toggle off of the fists, and that's where... So when they're not that certain number that of them being on, it does that. That's more explanation of that. Okay. I'll show you one last thing. I'll like open up this little scene. You know, I'm going to just say don't save in case I was breaking anything. And so this is all the ones except for the tall guy. I like hide him away on when I... This is the scene I kind of use for myself, really, on... Which then I just leave the options if you want, like, just pre-set up colors of the public ones, and with the shapes of what I did for the public. So like quick, like female one right there. And which, by the way, these baby ones, their head is also sized up. So like their head, hands, and feet. Head is 1.25 scale. So that kind of makes them a little more chibi style and pretty much baby proportions that I think. Plus he has the fat blend shape up a little bit. And which, by the way, what I did with the cheetah, there's tail thickness. Which I gotta go to the other version. I actually wanted to see with so yeah, the wrist, yeah, it's 1.2. And for the feet, I think I did like a little less. Yeah, it's 1.12. I think because it starts to like, if you scale it up a bit more, then it just starts looking a little weird. At least for me. So maybe his hands are just a little bigger than his feet, but then again, his ankle's kind of long anyway. So I wanted to pop back into this just for a brief. So yeah, to get like a cat's tail, you just go into here, and then it already has tail flattened up a little bit. Otherwise, I found it does look way too spiky out and stuff when it's not flattened at all. So at least that, like, so if you go like nearly all the way, you could right away get like pretty much a cat-like tail. And then the more that I do is then I just turn up the skinny. I think I do it like about 50 on that, and then like 70 or something like that for my tail. And which then, by the way, for the ears, there is a blend shape I added for the ears small. By the way, sorry about the blend shapes being just all over the place. It's just what, like, the older Blender version that I have right here just mixes the blend shapes. And for me to put it through the newer Blender, it changes the rig orientations of the bones, and I didn't want to possibly break anything with that. Next new character, so I would just do it that way, and then finally have the blend shapes ordered more correctly instead of always mixing them up like this. Because like me trying to just find the smaller ears is here. So you could just do this blend shape, shrink the ears. However, the joints are still the same position, and so if the tip just rotates right from here, it does that. It just really looks ugly. So if you want to do it that way, you would basically want this dynamic. You pretty much turn this on, like put it to 2, exclude like these 2 other bones. Probably then put like an end joint, just so it bounces the top spot right here, this ear one, just so it bends it like this. Otherwise it just looks ugly. But the other option, pretty much what I do is I just go here, copy component, remove component, and then scale the joints. Like I even like squish it down like that. And you could just get a shrunken like cat-like ear if you wanted. And then put it back on and then paste values. Puts the dynamics back on. They don't like reset the ear constantly just because you changed it or whatnot. Because if you change it like this, once you hit play, it's going to just pop it back. Never mind. It's not doing that. That is a surprise. Maybe scale. Maybe it's because it's like the scale. Yeah. Okay, maybe you don't. I do know that if you like move it, it won't like that. Yeah. If you like change the transform, it will do that. If you slid around. Well, I guess you don't have to delete that. I always did it just because like it always, with rotation and positioning, it always like reset. It always went back to default if you like uploaded or something, because the dynamics were already set that with it that way. But I guess it doesn't change the scale, so you can scale the ear all you want with the dynamics still on. I guess that still works. But that's a little extra. Sorry it's such a long video, but it's how I do these videos, I guess. Thank you for interest and I hope this is helpful for anyone that like watched through it all. Just big explanation of like the Aavatar, this Aavatar and all that. So take care, everyone. I thank you for everyone that's like been supporting on this, by the way. That's been buying these avatars. It's been so helpful. I would say that. Like it was a big surprise on just like how many really liked this avatar and became like its own business pretty much just with this avatar. It's been that crazy. So I'm very grateful, thankful for everyone that's been supportive on that, and then sharing like all the fun customs that people have been doing with it. That's what I found like a lot of fun, is just seeing all the cute different styles that people made this avatar into. And where I even commissioned someone else to texture because I didn't think I'd do such amazing texture job as what Karai did. So he's one person I know that's even using this avatar as like a business almost. So just creating textures for others with it. So everyone have a good day. Take care. Bye-bye.